For our Ruskin collection, I looked at a similar set of decorative references used by John Ruskin's circle in the 19th century, and in this video I talk about the inspiration behind the collection. I wanted to show the original artwork for my design, Ruskin. So it's named after John Ruskin, the leading English art critic from the 19th century. Another important character at this time was Lord Leighton, who decorated his house there in West London with Turkish tiles. And here's some English arts and crafts tiles inspired by original Turkish tiles. So you see that whole style continues throughout time. I've done the same thing. I've taken the original Turkish tile and give it my own interpretation with watercolour paints. And as you look closer, you'll see all the watercolour marks, which we've reinterpreted and reproduced on the final fabric. Here's the blue colourway, printed on 100% linen. And here's this very smart neutral and terracotta colourway with this sharp graphite grey outline, which is quite unexpected, but I think makes a really chic fabric. When we launched the design Avery a couple of years ago, it became an instant hit. I'd done the design based on a Japanese 19th century lacquered screen I'd seen. It shows these oriental birds in a tree of life motif layout, and here it's shown as a fabric and a matching wallpaper in the original black colourway. Well, we decided that we should reintroduce it in these very soft blues on a white linen ground. So the original is on a black glazed linen union. This is a pure linen ground with these soft colours, and here it's shown with the design Ruskin, also printed on 100% linen ground. Caravan is a small-scale woven fabric. It's geometric because of the softened shapes and the texture. It's not a hard design. I've launched it in this one colourway only, which mixes every shade of blue imaginable. You can see it works really well with blues of a greeny tone, like this wallpaper, Elgin, which we launched in January 2020. But it also has indigo and more royal blue in there, which works with such things as the Mossvent 04, our printed linen. It's a tapestry weave, and you can see when we were developing it, we left many of the weft yarns in the back quite loose. This doesn't affect the durability of the fabric, but it gives a much softer handle, so you can see that it would drape well if it was to be used as curtains. Here we've shown it with Knowle in blue. This is our third colourway of the design cornucopia. It's called Tapestry 03, and it combines all sorts of warm colours with lots of neutrals, teal, rust, with hemp, silver grey and lichen. The original fabric was inspired by a Turkish carpet, and I called it this after the biannual magazine of the same name, Cornucopia. It celebrates all things Turkish. It's a really beautiful magazine, and it's really well worth a look. I stenciled the original artwork on a rough burlap ground so we could reproduce it commercially with all those unique details from my original artwork. It's on a lovely weight linen, and you can see here it's shown as a cushion, so you get a good idea of the scale, combined with our Audrey silk and linen stripe. Knowle is a printed design inspired by the flame stitch pattern from a 17th century needlepoint purse I'd seen. It's named for Knowle Park, the spectacular house in Kent, and when I painted up the design in this large scale, I worked really carefully to give a good balance to the different colours across the repeat. As a gathered curtain, there's a really easy flow to them, but seen here, we used the rich jewel tones for the back of an antique sofa. It would work really well in a more contemporary setting. For example, you could put it on the backs of some tall, fully upholstered dining chairs. There's a soft mineral colour way with pinks, greens and blues, and also this blue colourway shown with our woven fabric Caravan. All the Knowle fabrics are printed on 100% linen twill, which means that you could use them for curtains and for upholstery. For me, Oscar is all about the scale. It's half the size of the design Ruskin shown here. But as you can see, it's this single colour, very gentle pattern, which adds a quiet presence of decoration to a room. The motif is taken from Turkish-inspired arts and crafts tile work, and you can see that it has this very soft, mottled effect in the ground, which replicates the original watercolour artwork. It comes in 3 colourways, hand-printed in London on our soft linen and cotton herringbone ground. Berber Stripe is a woven horizontal fabric with the most wonderfully soft handle. This is due to the alpaca and wool content and the special finishing process after weaving. Although the original design inspiration was from Moroccan Berber rugs, it isn't at all themey, and it would sit happily in many a room. I love the way we mitered the corners on the fabric here to make these very smart cushions. There are 2 colourways, the pink, and the second colourway is a saffron. It would look very smart railroaded, i.e. turned 90 degrees and used as a headboard so that the stripes were running vertically. Last year I launched this design called Tallulah, which was great fun, a sort of Cecil Beaton 1950s tongue-in-cheek trompe-l'oeil, which is a rendering of very opulent passementerie but printed on linen. Well, in the middle of the printed width of fabric, there was a small design to add an extra bit of border. And here it is. You can see how it fits together with the design. Well, we've now launched the design on its own. It's in 3 colourways. There's a lovely green and chartreuse and a soft blue colourway. And also this much richer red and blue colourway, which is separate. It doesn't relate to a corresponding colourway of the Tallulah, but I loved it, so I put it in the collection. It's hand printed on our linen and cotton herringbone. And here this colourway is shown with one of my favourite fabrics, which is Kiva, a linen pile cut and uncut velvet.